For example, let's say your Rising Sun Kick is on a cooldown, you use Tiger Palm, Tiger Palm, Tiger Palm, and then you use Blackout Kick, and you're just hoping for that reset on Rising Sun Kick. Now this could be a possible DPS rotation in the future. Of course, I need to find out the best way of doing single target DPS in order to do the resets. But you can see that there is a, like, you know, this 1, 2, 3 kind of a DPS combination. You get resets or possible resets on Rising Sun Kick. More Rising Sun Kicks means more healing on the people affected by all of your HOTS. Thunder Focus Tea resets or at least lowers the Rising Sun Kick cooldown by a lot. All of a sudden you have this burst potential, this crazy synergy with your Rising Sun Kick, with your Tiger Palm and your Blackout Kick, because they help you to reset the cooldown on Rising Sun Kick. And on top of that, with the Spirit of the Crane, your Blackout Kick also restores mana. DPS healer at its finest. Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and today we'll be looking at the Mistweaver monks. So a couple of weeks ago I made a video about the changes that were happening to Mistweavers, but there has been a lot of things that changed in the last week or so, or last couple of weeks, in terms of talents, in terms of new spells, or at least the spells have changed. And there's been, the main talent that we'll be talking about right now, on top of many other changes, is Rising Mist. So Rising Sun Kick heals all allies with your Renewing Mist, Enveloping Mist, or Essence Font for a specific amount, and extends those effects by 2 seconds. So basically all your HUDs get affected by your DPS spells. So this has been a big push by Blizzard in terms of Mistweavers, and I'll talk about the changes to Thunder Focus Tea also, because Thunder Focus Tea now affects Rising Sun Kick as well. There's been a big push for Blizzard to see Mistweavers as a DPS healer type of hybrid. There's a direct advantages to doing DPS, and I'll talk about the DPS rotation later on. Direct advantages to doing DPS because it is going to affect your healing. It's going to heal people. There's going to be a big bonus from doing DPS, and I can see this in 5-mans especially, because in 5-mans DPS is a big part of healer contribution towards the group. In raids it still possibly might be used as well, but we have to see. I'll be talking about 5-mans in general. So first of all, let's look at some of the changes. Rising Mist is here. Talents have been swapped out a bit. Now you have like tier 45 is your basically all your mana regen or mana saving tools. You have the Spirit of the Crane, teaching that Monastery causes each additional Blackout Kick to restore a certain amount of mana. That was already in Legion. I'm just mentioning this because the synergy with Rising Sun Kick and the synergy with the DPS. So you can get mana through that. Mana Tea has now been brought down to tier 45, so you can pick up Mana Tea instead of actually sacrificing your tier 100 talent, which are basically all throughput talents. So that's kind of cool. You also had Tiger's Lust swapping with Diffuse Magic. So basically your tier 75 is all damage prevention, or kind of like, you know, I'm gonna die, I need to heal myself, whatever. Which is kind of sad. You know why? Because if Diffuse Magic was actually in tier 30, you could pick up Diffuse Magic. In 75, you could possibly pick up Dampen Harm or Healing Elixir or whatever. And then you also, on top of that, will have your Fortifying Brew. So now all of a sudden you can have 3 kind of, you know, defensives, which could be extremely strong in those high tyrannical keys in BfA. But I guess Blizzard only wants you to have kind of like a 2 defensive cooldowns, which is okay because it's in line with everything else, or in line with all the other classes. So you have the Rising Mist. Now, there's been a couple of changes made to Thunder Focus Tea, which is probably the biggest changes that have been made. But Thunder Focus Tea no longer affects Essence Font. Enveloping Mist before, at least in the previous BfA builds, Enveloping Mist under Thunder Focus Tea used to be an instant cast, and he also would give you kind of this bit of an initial heal. Right now, under Thunder Focus Tea, if I cast it, Enveloping Mist has a cast time. But it has a big initial heal. He has a big initial heal, which is actually extremely strong. And you have to consider the fact that when you cast Soothing Mist, you can press Thunder Focus Tea. Thunder Focus Tea is not on global cooldown, does not interrupt your Soothing Mist cast, and Soothing Mist gives you an instant cast Enveloping Mist. So these Soothing Mist changes have made me think about Mistweavers in terms of tank healing, and I have to say that after looking at all of the healer changes, Mistweavers are looking extremely strong in terms of single target. Like, the fact is that the latest BfA build has made that your Soothing Mist also works with your Mastery, just is buffing the whole single target potential. There's quite a lot of space for that burst healing. Like I mentioned before, Soothing Mist, Thunder Focus Tea, Enveloping Mist. That's in a couple of seconds. You have a massive burst on your tank or priority target or whatever. So and on top of that, like I mentioned before that Vivify is also instant cast if under Soothing Mist. So the single target potential is definitely there. Now, in terms of the changes that have been made very recently, Thunder Focus Tea again, Renewing Mist. Remember the fact that Thunder Focus Tea used to kind of like not trigger a cooldown on Renewing Mist, so you could have like 2 Renewing Mist straight afterwards, or if you were used to specking different talents, you could have more. That's gone. Thunder Focus Tea now, on the Renewing Mist, duration is increased by 10 seconds. So you won't get as many Renewing Mist out, but your Renewing Mist will be longer. Now, the fact is that Vivify has been changed to basically every time you Vivify a target, it's also going to affect or heal the people with the Renewing Mist. It means that under the new Thunder Focus Tea, you won't have as many Renewing Mists. So every time you Vivify, they won't be affected or they won't be healed. So it's kind of negative, but Blizzard has buffed certain spells like Vivify to kind of account for that. But the fact is that you won't have as many HOTS rolling in raids or parties. It's kind of sad to some extent. But you also have to look at the DPS rotation. You also have to look at the Rising Sun Kick. Rising Sun Kick has seen some crazy changes in terms of synergy, in terms of possibilities in 5-mans. So there's a bit of a weird thing happening with Rising Sun Kick cooldown. Like it says it's 10 seconds here, but there's been an aura applied that adds 2 extra seconds. So technically it seems that Rising Sun Kick has 12-second cooldown right now, even though the tooltip seems to be very dodgy about it. So if you look at the new Thunder Focus Tea, Rising Sun Kick, cooldown reduced by 9 seconds. So technically, if I activate my Thunder Focus Tea and I use my Rising Sun Kick, which is going to heal the people affected by my HOTS, I'm gonna have like 3-second cooldown. I have to wait 3 seconds for my next Rising Sun Kick to come off cooldown under Thunder Focus Tea. So it's not like I'm gonna use Thunder Focus Tea and I'm gonna have like instant Rising Sun Kicks. Everyone's gonna get this crazy burst healing. You use the Rising Sun Kick once, and then you wait a couple of seconds, and then you can do it again. Now, in terms of playstyle, you most likely will want to cast your Essence Font, have like, you know, Renewing Mist going around, have maybe possibly Enveloping Mist, and then you'll probably be using your Rising Sun Kick. Rising Sun Kick is going to extend the duration of those HOTS, it's going to heal those people, so all of a sudden you have this burst potential through your DPS. Now, you also have to look at your passives. You also have to look at your passive that existed in Legion, Teachings of the Monastery. That was always there. Tiger Palm causes your next Blackout Kick to strike an additional time, stacking up to 3 times. So basically, the more Tiger Palms you have, the more possibility of getting Blackout Kicks. The more Blackout Kicks, Blackout Kick has a 15% chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Rising Sun Kick. So it's kind of like 1-2-3 DPS rotation. 1-2-3 DPS. And the whole goal of it is to get as many resets on Rising Sun Kick as possible. But you also have to consider that Blackout Kick, it's not completely useless. I mean, it does restore mana. You also have to look at certain talents, things like the Jade Statue could have some kind of synergy, because if you think about it, let's say I put my Jade Statue here, this is my tank, I want to heal my tank, I want to make sure that the tank is not going to die, I'm going to put like Renewing Mist on him, I'm going to cast my Soothing Mist, so my Jade Statue is going to cast Soothing Mist on them, and now I can go back to DPS. I'm going to go try and stack my Tiger Palms and things like that, and my Jade Statue is helping out the tank. It's not crazy amount of healing, but it's something there to, you know, balance the tank out. And if all of a sudden you see like, oh my god, the tank is gonna die, you can go into this crazy Soothing Mist, Thunder Focus Tea, Enveloping Mist combo, and all of a sudden the tank is probably to full. And this kind of burst potential is really strong, because I've been playing my Resto Druid, and Resto Druid really does not seem to have that crazy burst healing. And I've been doing a lot of heroic, even mythic dungeons with my Resto Druid, and you're doing dungeons with tanks who have 140k HP, 150k HP, 160k HP, and my single target healing, my regrowths heal for about 20,000, 20 to 30,000. So I have to cast like 3, 4, 5, 6 single target heals to actually get the tanks back up to full. Or at least that's what it feels like at the start of BfA. So having a really strong burst potential as a Mistweaver is going to be extremely strong in 5-man dungeons or in raids, and possibly place Mistweavers in this off-tank healing potential, or like, we don't have a Holy Paladin. Maybe Mistweaver can spec into this certain build and start doing some single target healing. Of course, with these kind of builds, you most likely be also spending a lot of time in melee because you are the DPS / healer hybrid. Now, whether I like this game style, I'm not completely sure yet. But I can tell you right now, Mistweavers, along with something like Discipline Priests, are definitely feeling like that DPS healer hybrid. I know Holy Paladins received Avenging Crusader, which kind of gives you like a Shockedin build available, but it's not to the same extent as a Mistweaver, because with Mistweaver, there's a lot of synergy. There's a lot of synergy right now with Rising Sun King. There's a lot of single target potential with certain talents. Soothing Mist changes have been really interesting. I am quite excited to see how Mistweavers are going to do in 5-man dungeons. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to be quite strong. I have a sneaking suspicion that Mistweavers could be a very good backup healer, or a healer that's going to help out your Holy Paladins in terms of tank healing as well. Let me know how you feel about all this. Let me know how you feel about the playstyle of a Mistweaver going into the melee. Going into the melee, doing the DPS rotation in order to actually heal the party. Do you enjoy that kind of playstyle? Do you want to be in melee? Of course, the downside of being in melee, some bosses don't really, you know, they're not that great. They don't allow you to go into melee, or there's too much movement or whatever, like in 5-man raids, whatever. Do you like this playstyle? Do you want me, because Mistweavers are kind of being pushed into it to some extent, or at least it seems like there's going to be a very valid option of using this build in 5-mans and possibly raids as well. Let me know. Thank you for watching this little guide video, and I'll see you in my next video.